Steph Curry experience. This is why he's the best ticket in basketball, for these type of moments, and he knows it's coming. But guys like Andrew Wiggins, other guys, and he's been scoring as well, Jordan Poole, they need to step up, because what's going to happen is between Alex Caruso, between Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, they're going to run people at him constantly. He's going to see a lot of double teams, and whoever he's guarding defensively, they're going to attack him to try to take his legs away from the offensive end. So other guys do need to step up, but you need a monumental performance from Steph.
So we'll make this the first of what will be many predictions this morning. Who wins the game tonight?
LeBron James and the Lakers win. They get the 7th seed. I think then the Golden State Warriors then get the 8th seed.
Okay, fair enough. We'll see what winds up happening again. Jay Williams, the J of KJZ, weekday mornings on ESPN Radio. Thank you, Jay.
There it is again.
Wait for it.
Good hands.
The dramatic pause. Thank you, Jay. All right, you're getting up early with us this morning are Ninko, Kimberly, and nothing better than Jeff Saturday on a Wednesday. We'll get to them in a moment. We begin with the performance of the night from the NBA. Oh, what a night it was for Jason Tatum. Play-in game, 7-8, Celtics Wizards. Early, a lot of Washington. 30 seconds to go in the half. Wizards are up by 1. And that guy, Russell Westbrook, had it going. Alex Len, no. Westbrook, yes, he had 20. Wizards up 2 at the break. Third quarter, though, belonged to Jason Tatum. Marcus Smart finding Tatum. Tatum finding the bottom of the net. He would knock down 5 threes. Tatum on fire. Boston a 13-point lead. And Tatum was not done. Not even close. Celtics up 10. Tatum backing down Bradley Beal. Little fadeaway. Yes, 23 for Tatum in the third, the most in any quarter in any game in his career. To the fourth, Celtics up 10, and Jason Tatum would just not let them get caught from behind. Now it's up a dozen as he takes it strong, and then with the Celtics up 15, it's Tatum again, backing up. Jason Tatum, 50 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Russell Westbrook, meanwhile, bumps and bruises. He'd leave early. Celtics would take care of business. 118-100. They move on to take on Brooklyn in the first round of the playoffs.
I don't really get caught up in, those who think I am a superstar and those that don't. What does that really mean? I know that my teammates, I've earned their respect. I've earned the respect of the guys that I play against.
It didn't matter who was in front of him, and that's been something that I've been trying to tell his for years. He's a special talent, man. I've been saying this since he was in diapers, so it doesn't surprise me.
So, with Tatum's huge performance last night, the Celtics get the right to play Brooklyn in round 1. However, be careful what you wish for. You see the numbers there. Boston 0-3 against the Nets, tied for their worst record against any team. They lost those games by an average of 15 points per. And Jay Will is here, KJZ, ESPN Radio, every weekday morning. Okay, so here's the deal, and I heard you guys talking about this morning on the radio. Superstars can elevate teams to another level. Can Jason Tatum do that?
He had 50 last night. Look, he's right in between a star and a superstar, Greeny. He's a budding superstar. He will be the MVP of the league one day. I think what we're seeing is Jason Tatum finally having his team. His team. That's one hell of a year to have his team. He had COVID this year, injuries to Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, Tristan Thompson, Robert Williams. All the laundry list goes on. But I think this is his team, and I think this is a growing opportunity for him, especially going into that first round series against the Nets.
So let's talk about that. Can he and his team make this difficult for the 3 superstars? What is that?
It's just some Kyrie Irving sage. Just some sage. This house is clear. Look, this is the big-time matchup. Kyrie made a comment a couple years ago that he wanted to go against the likes of a Kemba Walker. Think about the history that Kyrie has had with Brad Stevens, with Danny Ainge, with the Boston Celtics, his relationship with Jason Tatum. Both these guys are Duke guys, great familiarity, but no Jaylen Brown. It's going to be a huge test for Kemba Walker. When they come out and Kemba Walker is Kemba Walker, they are a dangerous team. Don't think they have enough firepower to stop the Brooklyn Nets, but still, those storylines are going to be what we love.
So let me ask you the question this way before I turn to tonight. Will there be any moment in time in which we think to ourselves, the Celtics have a real chance to win this series?
No. No, do I think the Celtics can win a couple of games? Yes, I do.
But at no point will we think to ourselves, at no point will you be in here and I'll say to you, oh my goodness, the Nets are in trouble.
How about this? If we're saying the Nets are in trouble and we look at how depleted this team is for the Boston Celtics, then that's a problem.
Okay.
That's a problem for the Nets.
I'm with you on that. Now let's get to tonight. The main event, obviously. Yes. Everybody waiting, LeBron and Steph. What does Steph Curry have to do? Give me a number that Steph Curry has to reach tonight for the Warriors to be able to beat the Lakers.
And he raises his shirt. He got no abs. But it's like, but just two superstars though in completely different ways. But that's why I think people rock out with Steph so hard. You know why? I see Steph, I'm like, damn, okay, I can feel like I can be Steph. Like he's relatable. You know what I mean?
And then
like
you look at people and go, no, you can't.
No, you can't. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
everybody wants to be him because he's 6'2", 6'3". You know, like everyday person's height, and you're like, no, you can't. You can't shoot the rock the way you can.
You can't do that. But it wasn't funny. Was that a tribute to Baron Davis when he pulled the shirt up? You remember when Boom did that?
I do when he did that. Yeah, after that dunk.
He did after he had that
dunk,
all the
right?
time.
Yeah.
And he pulled his shirt up.
Who was that dunk on? That was a leaner on somebody that he
Somebody
caught.
on the Mavericks. R.I.P.
Yeah.
One of my worst scouting moments of my life.
Seeing Baron
When I
Davis for the
scouted
first
Baron
time.
Davis in high school. I
Didn't
got
see
it
it?
wrong.
Got it wrong.
Well, I mean, I told Jay all the time. I said, man, and I tell BD, it was so because we're good friends, obviously from LA, and so we always joke. I'm like, I just didn't.
Yo, when you see BD though in high school, you're like,
Yeah, I was like,
Really?
Jason
because
and
BD was a little bit.
I
He's
saw
just heavy?
I
He was a
saw
little bit,
Jason
yeah,
and Jared Collins.
chunkier.
They played against. We went to the game.
Right.
It was the Martin Luther King Classic at the Poly Pavilion, and I'm sitting with my agent, and he's trying to sell me on it. Like, no, not gonna, no, you ain't selling me on that.
Wow.
About 4 years later, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he was,
It was against Korolenko.
He was a good.
That was a
oh,
dunk.
my God,
Yeah,
that's
you
right,
that was a dunk.
Kirilenko.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
AK.
forgot about him. And he was
AK,
AK-47. He was a great defender too. So that's a hell of a dunk on him. He's one of my favorite
I don't know about
guys.
that
Like to
nickname.
cover. He was
Probably
a
not
lot
the
of
best
fun.
nickname.
That's what I say.
No,
Yeah.
you don't think so?
Probably not right now.
Well,
number
that's-
was
so
47.
I,
No, but
so I
like
naturally
right
said it.
now.
I naturally said it on Talkback. Evan's like, probably we no.
No?
It's not. This
That was
is
his-
AK. I know, just AK.
Probably not.
Didn't age well. That didn't age
didn't age
well.
well.
Probably
Okay.
not great
Yeah,
right now.
didn't.
Well,
Not the
the
best.
ironic thing was the guy couldn't shoot the basketball.
Oh God! All right, move along.
All right.
Let's go.
I mean, it just worked that way.
Lakers,
What I said.
Warriors,
Keyshawn
play
J. Will
tonight.
Zubin brought to you by attorneys Cordell and Cordell. Fair divorce
Now you
for
go
men.
to
Call
attorney's
1-866-DADS-LAW. So anyways, when it comes to the play-in tournament, maybe we didn't get the sizzle as much as we wanted to last night, but tonight, especially with Warriors-Lakers, we should get it. Mike Breen, he certainly is all in on the play-in tournament. Here he is with Greeny.
When I first heard about it, I was like, why are we doing this? We have enough teams already in the playoffs, but I have completely done a 180. I thought it made the last couple of weeks of the regular season maybe the best couple of weeks to end a regular season we've had in a long time, if of all time, because so many games, night after night, so many games, there were teams that had something to play for.
So it did work because you think about the tournament itself is supposed to be fun to watch because of single elimination, although no one told the Hornets last night. But we did have, as I mentioned before, going into the final day, 17 of the last 20 seeds were undecided. You had 2/3 of the league involved, which is a big deal because now instead of talking about tanking and positioning in the lottery, there were teams that were still pretty much alive going into the final week of the regular season. So for Adam Silver and the owners, was this a success already?
Huge success. It gives me a level of intrigue that I never had towards the end of the regular season. I typically check out, and I follow basketball every day for a living. Right? Like, all right, let's just get to the playoffs and start the excitement already. But now I have LeBron James or Steph Curry. What do they know out west? Because the Lakers only -5. Like, -5. Like, that's interesting little area right there to play with, right? And Steph can go off. And if Steph happens to get it done tonight, his legacy builds to an incredible nature, right? I mean, his legacy is already on a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
And then we actually have the conversations about the Lakers in an elimination game. Like a one game, they'll still be the
Technically,
favorite.
yeah, technically this is an elimination because they stay alive for one more, but still it puts a lot of pressure on them. But certainly not something that Key wants to talk about right now. But just to have
Just the
these
thought
guys,
of
just
us
to have
saying
these
Lakers
guys
in
in the
elimination
game,
game.
though, to
Yes.
have these guys in the game is obviously a huge showcase for the league, and it makes you feel like
you're a Knicks fan.
it's only got the 4th seed. You're right. Didn't
Yeah,
have
you guys
to,
are good. You
didn't
guys
have
are
to
fine.
play in, so I wouldn't know anything about a play-in tournament, at least not yet. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. We were talking about this, about players who have to win. What about teams that have to win? This year, all things considered, championship or bust, Who would that be this season? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. The NBA play-in tournament on ESPN Radio. Tune in tonight. The Grizzlies host the Spurs, as I mentioned, followed by Warriors at the Lakers. It's presented by Indeed. Coverage begins 7 p.m. Eastern on Mo.
Well, when Indy dropped 70 points in the first half, I'm like, wow, okay. Charlotte, are you going to play? Are you going to come to the gym to actually compete? Apparently not.
Wow. I mean, that said a lot. And then you have the Wizards and the Celtics, the later game, and it was competitive at halftime, although that first half didn't feel good about, like, it just didn't feel like what we were hoping for. The play